6, a helping hand with your land.
From Essex here, out taking you along for a ride with me to do a little bit of snow removal. About 3 weeks ago or so, we did a video out in the snow here a little bit, and somebody noticed in the background this R630 go driving past with a snow bucket on the front and asked that we do a video about it. I've talked in some videos in the past about how our business has largely transitioned away from using skid steers on our lots towards using wheel loaders, and that's been for a number of reasons. Mostly because of tire wear. We get much longer service life out of wheel loaders than we do out of skids. Our operating costs are a lot better, and they're very nice machines because of their reach to load trailers. But for snow removal like this, these things are fantastic. There's a lot of reasons to like them. So come along with me here today. We're gonna go push some snow. So we're out today at an R630. There's a lot of reasons to like these machines for this kind of work. The gentleman that I chased out of here when I got in told me he loves running this thing because it just won't stop pushing. If I lift up out here in front, you'll see I have what looks like about a 96-inch Vernix snow bucket on the front. Those snow buckets have those lines and stuff cut into the back of them so that we can see through them and we'll still be able to pack the thing full of snow and not have it spill over the front. When we get out here and get snowfalls like this, especially at a place like ours, there's no shortage of people who are willing to come out here and do snow. So much equipment around that you can jump in and go out and push with, and all of it fun to run. So there's a couple of reasons to like doing snow with these things. We'll run right up here to the loading dock and clear out in here. The biggest one of which is visibility. When you're sitting in a skid steer, and you look out the sides of those machines, there's just not great visibility in them to be able to know exactly where you're going. And I have that here in the wheel loader, right? When I'm moving back and forth, I can very easily see all around my bucket. I can tell where my edge is at. I can see all around the machine. When I go back up, I can easily look out the back, so I have good rearward visibility. It's one thing I always think about, especially for our customers who are like car dealers and stuff that will run these kinds of machines to clear out parking lots around cars and that kind of stuff. The difference in running this in, say, a skid steer in a situation like that where you're really concerned about maybe hitting things is really, really significant. You can just tell so much better what you're doing in this machine than you're ever going to be able to in a skid loader. Now, operationally, these things are super, super easy to drive. The stick over here does all of your functions for your loader and your bucket. So when you want to get here to the end of the row, you just simply pull back on this, curl the bucket back and lift it up, just like the pilot control would be on the right-hand side of a skid steer or a track loader. All of my steering is done with a steering wheel here, right? Instead of, again, having sticks or something to contend with or another pilot control, a very familiar steering wheel in order to do that. It will move a little bit differently than what track machines or skid machines will because of that center articulation, but very easy to drive. The one thing that took me a little bit of time to get used to the first time I jumped into one of these is that the forward and reverse on this is not up here on the dash. Even now that I spent some time out here, tend to reach up here to where the turn signal stalk is at and pull that thinking that I'm going to change directions. But your direction changes are done right here on your thumbstick. This gray rocker switch back here will switch me between forward and reverse. Or black rocker switch rather. The gray one's a proportional control for your hydraulics. This machine has a 5-speed transmission in it. That's done with these buttons right up here on top of the stick, so you can switch between your forward and reverses, but you have 5 operating ranges that are going to change how much speed or push you have as you toggle through them. That's different on the R530 or the R540. The 5 series machines and the 4 series wheel loaders have a little bit more simplistic transmissions in them than this 6 series does. That's one of the benefits that you get when you go up to this bigger unit is more ranges in the transmission. The behavior of the articulation when you're driving this really is fun. When it slides around, the way that the thing can articulate, it almost feels like a power slide, if that makes sense. Definitely does not feel like a tractor, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm getting a little too much slide right there. I drive driveway, getting a little icy in there, I started to lose traction and run sideways a little bit. The heater in here definitely works. I'm actually getting hot. And so you can see right here now I'm getting up to a tight area up against cars and stuff. I don't want to repeat myself over and over again, but it's tight situations like this where, like, great, I want to skim right across the back bumper of that truck. That I just feel better about here with this than I would with a skid steer. Now you do got to watch your rear end a little bit here because of the rear end twisting around when you go back and forth. It can walk around on you, and I'm drifting here to the side a little bit. The articulation of these is such too that it makes pushing and float actually possible. You'll notice, look at that pile of snow. You'll notice in tractors and stuff, you really can't get out and push and float so much. And that's because you'll lose all of your traction on your front tires. But in this, with the articulation, however this machine moves, you just always seem to be able to have some power out in front of you to push with. I'm gonna jump out here quick and film this pile of snow. It is huge. So that's a little bit of the time that I spent out here pushing snow on the wheel loader. There's a handful of places here where I think we get so used to the kind of equipment that we run, we don't really look for what might be new or different or a little bit better for certain applications. We run a lot of skid loaders and track loaders around here for snow, and while they definitely are great machines to do that kind of work and they have year-round use, I do think we underappreciate the potential a little bit that some of these small wheel loaders have for certain applications. They're great for material handling. They're really handy out here in the snow. If you have a lot of snow work to do, there's this unmatched pushing and visibility out of a machine like this for sure. I think it's worth considering a little bit more than what a lot of us might do. So if you're shopping for a piece of equipment like this, you're considering using a wheel loader for snow removal, looking for something like that for your application, give us a call on Messick's. We're glad to help. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Messick's.com.